So last night I was out drinking a lot and I'm going to attempt to review some films. I've put all my favourite films into a random list and we're going to pick a few and we're going to talk about them. Django Unchained, great film. So Django Unchained came out in 2012. It stars Samuel Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio and some other people. I don't think it's, at the very top of the Quentin Tarantino rank, but I do think it's very good. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. Westerns aren't usually my thing. Not that this is like a proper western, it's kind of an homage in a sense, but I really enjoyed the revenge plot of this one. I think Christoph Waltz and I forgot his name, Jamie Foxx. I think Jamie Foxx is a very likable lead in this film, and I think the revenge plot of this is what, takes me through it, keeps me engaged, and it's kind of a similar thing with Inglourious Basterds, because Jamie Foxx and Christoph Waltz go undercover and infiltrate Leonardo DiCaprio's gaff, and basically they're trying to rescue Jamie Foxx's girlfriend. And this is a cool film, man. I think the third act is great. The final fight sequence, very epic. That's all I'm going to say about it. Before Sunrise is a very special film to me. I've watched it like 3 times now. The Before trilogy is definitely up there. It's one of my favourites. And I do think all 3 of these films are great. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. Before Sunrise was directed by Richard Linklater. Great director, made School of Rock, that's how you know he's cool. Before Sunrise came out in 1995, starring Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. People that think this film is boring just don't watch a lot of films. It's one of the most authentic romance films ever, and it is my favourite romance film. Out of the 3, I think it's my favourite because it's the most optimistic and it doesn't make you want to die. It kind of feels like you're just observing real life because of the shots that are used. It's very kind of locked off. There's not much movement to the camera. You're kind of like you're a fly on the wall observing, Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy spend the day together in Venice. They meet on the train as strangers, and then Ethan Hawke's like, come on, let's go to wherever they go to. And they spend a day together, and it's just brilliant, honestly. It's just scene after scene of just great filmmaking, brilliant acting. I'm pretty sure it was very scripted, but it feels improvised because Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy do such a great job in these roles. And I could honestly talk about this film for hours. It's that good. Here's proof. This is the Criterion Collection Blu-ray. Last thing I'll say about this film, scene in the record store is just perfect. It's basically a close shot of Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and they're just looking at each other, and it will just be that for like 30 seconds, but it's so good. I can't say enough about this film. I think it's a easy 10 out of 10. If you have not watched the Before trilogy, do yourself a favour and leave this video and watch it right now. The Raid. This is a man's film, The Raid. The Raid is a crazy action film, front to back, set in an apartment block, like a really tall apartment block. And basically the whole film is these SWAT dudes go into this building and they're just fighting the whole time, and it's just amazingly choreographed fight scenes from beginning to end. If you don't believe me, watch like the first 30 minutes of this film. The bit where they're in the building and the lights shut off, the scene if you've seen it, and it's just like this slow movement up and you see the people like aiming their guns at them, and then shit gets insane. I've watched this film twice, right? It's very exciting the first time you watch it. Second time, because all that, the action scene's better, I feel like it loses its impact. It's one of those films where it's kind of, you switch your brain off in like 90 minutes and you just have a good time. I'd recommend you watch this one with people. If you've got a friend that hasn't seen this film and you want to watch a cool action film, then you should probably stick this on and have a fun time. I'm going to give The Raid a 7 out of 10. Everyone loves this film. This came out in 2018. and it was a big hit mainly because of the animation, but the rest of the film is great as well. The animation is very creative and it has a comic book style that people really love, including me. I sound like I'm being condescending, but I love this film. This film gets a lot of hype around it because it's SpiderVerse, and on Letterboxd, if you go on there, you might think, is it really that good? And then you watch it and it is really that good. Let's do a comparison here. Right, so I watched Puss in Boots 2. People compare that to SpiderVerse, and the reason SpiderVerse is better than Puss in Boots 2 is because it's got that emotion to it, and the story goes in interesting ways, and I think overall it's just a much more, engaging story and satisfying film to watch. Yeah, I'm gonna give SpiderVerse a 10 out of 10. And if this second film is shit, then I'm gonna resign from making film reviews, and you're not gonna hear my opinion on that film. We're gonna make this one quick because I'm tired. The Shining is a horror film, but it's also a lot more than that. Jack Nicholson is great in the film, from what I remember. Yeah, The Shining gets a 9 out of 10. I'm going to leave it there. This video has been this video. If you're watching this right now, it means that I edited this and I thought it was good enough to put out. And if you're not watching this, then it means that I just sacked it off.